heard on Shailza's chat show that nobody has heard about it before, and it's very close to your heart. So I'm wanting you to give an introduction that is close to your heart and something that people don't know.
Something that I would like to tell you what you haven't read or heard about me is that I am a great sports person. I have been a very good sports person at school and college levels while winning many awards and prizes.
Okay?
And I am a philatelist. I collect stamps and I have more than 55 countries stamps with me. And I also collect coins and I'm a very adorable kind of a person, short heighted, dark colored, but handsome looking.
We can see that
So,
already, and my compliments to you.
right now, am I visible to you?
Sorry, I can't see you, but I can hear you clearly. And so long you can see me, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. So,
Uh,
yes, he all the extraordinary achievements that he thinks added in his introduction. I've already given the introduction about Mr. Sandeep, and he is a senior official at an export house. Now, this is my second question to you, Mr. Sandeep, and you're a proclaimed author, an achiever in personal life, which soon we will be discussing through the course of our chat show. But tell me, which role play is closest to your heart with these three and why?
Madam, if I begin with it, being an achiever got me this beautiful job, which gave me a financial stability, and because
Uh-huh.
of this job, I could pursue my passion of writing.
All right.
However, being an author is more closest to my home. Let me see if my boss is online. No, he is not. Being an author is very close to my heart because it gave me an opportunity to meet star personalities like you, and it
Uh-huh.
gave me a, gave me a platform to express myself and shape my creativity, spread my creativity to those boundaries where I could never imagine to travel. It gave me a chance to build a community of luminaries and a little bit of name and fame for myself. So being an author is more closer to my heart.
I assumed so. I assumed so. And I agree with you, whatever each word that you have said, I can relate to it. So, in your 52 years, you must have seen a lot of highs and lows because life is always, it has two beats, the upper beat and the lower beat. So, we all go through the same experiences. Sometimes we see highs and sometimes we see lows. So, what keeps you going? Because you're handling different aspects of your life so beautifully. So, I was very eager to ask you this question: that how do you manage through the ups and downs and through the extra commitment? Sometimes a sector of your life throws at you.
Struggles are in everybody's life. I've also faced highs and lows, but lately I developed a habit to celebrate both the triumph and failure at the same time.
Wonderful, wonderful.
The family love and support. This was a biggest thing that came my way, which gave
Okay.
me a different kind of a shape. Finding
Uh-huh.
happiness in small things. That was really very important for me. I remember listening to an episode of God Gopal Das
Okay.
where he asked the man, "Do you
Uh-huh.
have a problem in your life?" He said, "Yes." "Do you have a solution?" He said, "Yes." So he said, "Then why do you worry?" Then he asked the next person, "Do you have a problem in your life?" He said, "Yes." "Do you have a solution?" He said, "No." So again, Gopal Das said, "Then why do you worry?" So this is the attitude that I developed in myself, and I got out of every high and lows. Not the
Mhm.
highs, but the lows of my life.
Yeah. True, very true. Because what I also feel, Mr. Sandeep, is that whatever life is like cascading river, it doesn't stop. Sometimes it shows you very scenic view. and sometimes a very scary one. But the good or the bad part about it is that both eventually pass us by. They don't make us halt, or we don't have to stay at a place longer. So, good or bad times, we are just supposed to cherish the good times and stay strong during the hard ones, because eventually both will pass out. Both will pass us by. So well said. So well said. So I'm gradually, taking you towards, the questions I'm very eager to ask you. So I'm coming directly to the scenario of lockdown few years ago, which was very gothic, traumatic, full of misery, pain, a lot of loss, and we all faced it, and we were so perplexed about it. We were clueless about what was happening around us, and none of us would have fathomed that a thing like this would ever happen to the civilization, but it did. And it taught us a lot of lessons, I'm sure. So my question to you is that when all of us were going through this difficult phase of our life, you turned yourself into a fountain of self-discovery. How did that happen? And what was it? Please tell the audiences.
Madam, let me take you back to the first 3 days of Janta curfew.
Uh-huh.
Close your eyes and remember the time. Those were the times when we hardly knew what COVID was all about.
Uh-huh.
It was just a 3 days holiday package for me
Mm-hmm.
and my family. My family and me left no stone unturned and we watched every movie on Netflix. It was the
Mm-hmm.
3 days Janta Curfew holiday was like falling from the heaven like a bliss in my lap. Because being in import export job, there is no calendar or watch for me. So I have a robo inside me. So
Okay.
it was very, yeah, so it was very enjoyable 3 days. But as the days started to progress in a gloomy direction and towards a bad condition,
Yes.
things came to a standstill.
Mm-hmm.
Everything around me was closed, and I did not know how to kill my time. Even the robo inside me used to rattle me every day to get up and do something before it goes for a short circuit. I had no option what to do. So in those times, if you remember, the grocery shops used to open early in the morning for an hour, and you had to stand in a queue to buy something. So
Yes.
I made out I made out a plan and I stood in the queue and bought about 10 packets of kurkure. And I
Uh-huh.
came home and started counting the number of sticks a 10 rupee pack of kurkure contains to kill my
Okay.
time. To kill my time, that was very unproductive.
Yes.
But still, I wanted to do something productive, and because I was used to run, get up 5:30 in the morning, go to bed again at 12. So everything was going haywire. Now the
Mm-hmm.
days started to still progress toward from bad to worse. And the
Mm-hmm.
gloomy times, people gasping for oxygen, I'm gasping for air inside the house. Everything was
Mm-hmm.
very so, every element in my house was counted, even the nails on the walls, the paintings and everything. My wife, she was so happy of the holidays that she became such a good chef. She started cooking many delicacies every day. I became ghatottak, ate everything that she cooked, and the result is a fat pot belly that I have at the moment. So in those times, I got to know that under the glass of the center table in my living room had 3,286 different color tables for decoration. I counted everything, even the number of steps. I could close my eyes and count and go to balcony, my bedroom, living room, washroom, everything. One day
Yes,
I
I
saw
agree, because
my
that
mom.
was the time. Mr. Sandeep. I think initial 1 week was like like a sabbatical for all of us, because we felt that, oh, we got a break from the routine, the excessive, the engaging life. And I think what you're mentioning, that your wife cooked amazing food and everybody enjoyed at home, and you had time to take notice of the things which otherwise you would have never noticed in the house, or the activities that you did, because none of us imagined the mayhem it was going to bring to our lives later. So,
Exactly.
I want to take you to the direction, where the discovery part happened in your life. How
Yes.
did you discover, and what did you discover, and what really happened?
Yes. So, continuing my story was that one day I saw my mother giving some money to our maid, and she was supposed to buy a broom and come with it to the next morning at work. I was
Okay.
spending a sleepless night, so I was the one who opened the door for her 7:30 in the morning.
Okay.
And trust me, Mrs. Suri, the broom in her hand and the smile on her face complemented each other because I got another thing to come. So I
Okay.
snatched the broom from her hand and she got at me like she has seen a lunatic. I sat on the couch and winded the broom, counted every number of
Yeah.
bristles it contained. And an expression of containment ran on my face that I have killed half an hour. One day
Mm-hmm.
I sat in front of my library, a small library that I have in my house,
Mm-hmm.
and my vision fell on Jeffrey Archer's prodigal daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Instantly, an enlightened thought crept into my mind, and I questioned myself: if he can, why can't I? And
Hmm.
is this is how I turned out to be an accidental author.
Oh my God, you call yourself an accidental author, but you've written so many
Yeah,
books now.
because I had yeah because I had no plans to write a book.
All
So
right.
so the credit of my being an author goes to Jeffrey Archer.
Okay. Okay. And how does that happen? He's your favorite author. You go by reading.
Oh yeah, I have read many of his books. He's not my favorite author, but I've read many of his books. And if my vision would not have fell on his book, this
Okay.
enlightened thought might not have crept into my mind to do the same what he could do.
Okay, wonderful. So, I'm very eager to ask you that, when we start doing something and we gain some progression in it and a little bit of recognition, like you've been bestowed with an honor of Munshi Premchand Literary Award and Stamp of the Honor Award and so many more. So, externally, around you, everybody's appreciating you. Everybody, is celebrating the success of your hard work. But I want to ask you that what goes inside, like I want what the question that I want to ask you, Mr. Sandeep, is that when you are receiving these awards, inshallah, you will receive many more awards in future as well. So how do you perceive these recognitions personally? What do they mean to you?
The recognitions mean me to be humble, and it brings more responsibility to me to give a
Hmm.
better story next time to my readers. I get
Okay.
the accolades that I have received. I don't
Mhm.
consider them awards. I consider them the love of my readers
How
and my
nice.
fans who read my book, who publicize my book, and
How
then
nice.
nominate me for an award. So my
One,
responsibility increases. My responsibility increases, and the liking of my readers is very important. Becomes very important for me. So every
wonderful.
time with every award, my responsibility increases.
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Yeah. So I said like my responsibility increases with every award I get. So this
Wonderful.
is
Wonderful.
how I perceive my awards.
How beautifully you answered. I think I also, uh, feel the same way as you do, that every time you receive love and appreciation from, your community of people or otherwise, like I have, a lot of people have known through Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and so many other social platforms. I've never met them, but they are my well wishers. They keep giving me honest feedback about what I'm doing, and whatever little recognition that has come my way, it just makes me more responsible towards the work that I'm doing. So I can really relate to what you said. I can actually. So I'm going to talk about now. I want to touch about that aspect of your life. I'm very keen to know because I haven't really heard the complete story of it, Mr. Sandeep. I can guess you can know what I'm going to ask you now. So, audiences, most people they don't have that willingness to break the habits. It is easier to prevent a bad habit than to break them. And the only proper way to eliminate any bad habit is to replace them with one's good ones or face them bluntly. All these lines are easier said than done. And none of us uh, is perfect, neither you nor me. And we all have our own hidden demons we are fighting day in and day out. So, our esteemed guest, in spite of being such a senior appointment holder at an export house, being so popularly known for his releases of books, he also has a personal struggle that he's going to talk about, which he triumphantly, overcame. So, Mr. Sandeep, I would request you to talk about it and let the audiences, get inspired that all of us are imperfect creatures and we can bring positive change in our lives. How? I would request you to please speak about it.
After graduating in 1994 from Delhi University, I got my first job in 1995 with a
G,
handsome salary. The
G.
abundance of money took me to the wine shop. From
Okay.
there, the legacy of drinking and smoking started, and I became a very depressed man, a loser kind of with negative thoughts, a fearful man, and everything. If a task was given to me in the office, I used to think about future, what will happen, whether the man will take the fall, whether he will answer me positively, and all. So this all affected my increment and my promotions and everything. I became a very lazy person. Everything.
Mhm.
I used to curse people who used to invite me for parties in the evenings because evening times used to be for my drinks. But
Okay.
I never used to drink in Navratras. And after
Mhm.
the 10 days of Navratras, then there is Pitru Paksh where my father is not alive. So I had to give
Mhm.
water to his soul. And so that covers 10 days. And then 10 days comes of Dashera. So summed up, it was 1 month that I never used to drink and smoke. So in
Mhm.
2014, after I completed till Dashera,
Mhm.
my wife came to me and she told me if you can live for a month without these things, why don't consider dropping it?
Yeah.
And today is 2024. Now is 2024. I haven't tasted a bit of drink after that. So
Wonderful.
I want to tell everyone, quitting smoking, I'll come to it later. I
Mhm.
want to tell everyone is that steal the word now from the dictionary. A procrastinator can never drop the habit. If you have to, if you want to drop the habit, make your life better, then you have to do it now. This is the mool mantra of quitting your bad habit. Regarding smoking, it was again instantly quitting. I quit it. There was an ad of Delhi traffic police used to come on the television with a caption "Speed thrills but kills."
Yes.
So I was smoking, standing in the balcony, and my son on his tricycle came to me. He stood on his feet, kept both his hands on his waist, and told me that Dad, smoking thrills but kills. So I threw the cigarette butt down from the balcony, and since today I haven't tasted even a bit of it.
So, Mr. Sandeep, tell me that, when you were getting hooked onto this habit, uh, was your mind alert then? Did it give stinkers to you that, hey, this is too much? I'm getting into it too deeply. I should stop. Or you just slipped into it?
Madam, basically I wasn't a drunkard, but everything starts with 30 ml. Then it
Yeah.
takes a form of a bottle. So when
Oh my
you
goodness.
have 30 ml, you think you can handle your drink. But
Yes.
later, drink starts handling you.
True.
So
True.
it wasn't that I wanted to drink every day and smoke every day, but my body required it. So I
Body.
had
So,
to tune my body against it.
how did this process happen? I mean, did you go to a doctor? Did you go to any rehab, or you did it on your own? And because the withdrawal symptoms are severe, and it is not easy to withstands those symptoms. So can you just tell us how did that happen? How did you win
Like I
over
said,
that?
madam, like I said, I wasn't a buzzard or a drunkard. I didn't
Uh-huh.
reach up to that level. So I didn't
Okay.
have to go to a rehabilitation center. It was the
Okay.
love and support of my family that helped me a lot. And of course,
Wonderful.
willpower has to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you decide to quit and you don't have a willpower, then
Yes.
you can't, because a relapse is always there. It is always
Mm-hmm.
knocking at the door. If you want to take it, if, today also if I want to take it, I can take it. But I don't
Yes.
want to take it. I have started hating the breath of a drunkard when he talks to me.
Mm.
I don't go to those parties where drinks are served. So
Mm-hmm.
this is how I stay away from my bad
Yeah. So
habits.
this is your defense mechanism towards it.
Yes, every body has a different structure, different metabolism, and different chemical reactions.
Yes.
So in my case, I was lucky. God helped me, and my family helped me. I didn't have to visit a rehabilitation center.
Kudos to you. You're born and blessed with a
Thank
family
you so
who by you. And my compliments to your loving children and to your wife for standing behind, because that is what family is supposed to do. And not
much. Yes,
everybody is blessed with a family like that. So since you are, let's celebrate. So
thank
I
you
would
very
say that
much.
you getting back to 100% fitness, I think 50% credit goes to your family, and very happy to know that now you're back into your system, you're alert. I'm sure when we leave any kind of substance that we've been intoxicating ourselves with, we start feeling, when we drift off, we feel much lighter, more alert, agile. You know, we have more energy, more attention power, and we can think more clearly, and we waste much lesser time. So these must have
Exactly,
been
ma'am.
the of having left, this habit which you had mildly, but even leaving that aside is something very inspirational. And the very thought that you are coming out and talking about it publicly means a lot to me, Mr. Sandeep, because firstly, people fail to acknowledge that they have an issue with them. And even if they do, it just the problem only is discussed within the family, and everybody considers it a taboo to discuss it openly. So, a lot of respect to you to accept it openly, and the audiences who are sitting here listening to you, they will also gain some strength from this story. And as I said, none of us are perfect, and we all have our own demons to fight. So thank you for sharing the story. So
Thank you,
now,
ma'am.
coming back to your life of being a laureate, every book, when it is, before it gets released, it has its own journey. You draft it, then you edit it, and then, it goes into publishing, and then media and publicity happens, then the book gets released, and so on and so forth. So what all goes behind in the minds of a writer? I want to know that. Are you always very sure that the it's like releasing a movie, it's like releasing or it's like giving birth to a child, because you conceive it, you are the one who's incepted it, and then you're going to deliver it after a couple of months. So what goes behind is what I'm asking you.
Finishing a book is an accomplishment. It gives you a sense of mission accomplished. And you are
Yes.
very happy about it, writing 75,000 words, 1 lakh words. Finishing
Uh-huh.
it stops there. After that comes publishing. Publishing is
Uh-huh.
expensive. When you start negotiating with publishers,
Mhm.
self-publishing is also there where you can publish your book free of cost. But then self-publishing these days are not so popular. Then comes
Okay.
publicity. Publicity when the book is released.
Yeah.
Publicity is very tiring because you have very limited social sites which are reliable on which
Mm-hmm.
you can put your books. It is your
Mm-hmm.
readers who take your publicity further.
Mm-hmm.
After I understood this concept after the failure of my first book and the success from the second and till now, because my first
All
book
right.
was written. It was written just because I wanted to kill time, so it was
Mhm.
something like. Um,
Okay.
it has a good story, but it is no one actually bought. Only 300 copies were sold.
Mm-hmm.
So, so publicity is the main aspect of your book, like attending these award functions and getting connected with the community of luminaries. These all help in publicity of your book.
So,
So,
Mr. What I wish to know from you is that, for those who are interested in this career and are listening to us and they are beginners in this field, can you just guide them? What is a recipe, uh, you know, for uh, for becoming a successful author? And what is a sure shot, method of reaching your goal?
okay, I will tell my listeners that whatever you have in your mind, put it on
Uh-huh.
the paper. Whatever you
Okay.
have, all crap you put it on the paper. Then start reading paragraph to paragraph. Start
Uh-huh.
beautifying it.
Okay.
A story keeps on coming to your mind, hitting your brain with each paragraph you modify. First, you
Okay.
write a paragraph, whatever, then when you come to the second paragraph, you would like to link the second paragraph with the first paragraph. So you will
Mm-hmm.
beautify two paragraphs. Now, when we come to the third paragraph, you will like to connect first, second with the third paragraph. So you beautify three paragraphs. So your first paragraph gets beautified 100 times.
All right. All
And,
right.
and
So,
in so by the time you reach the last paragraph, a link of a story is established.
link of story is established. All right. So, uh, how much of weightage does the editor has on the book? So before, you put it for release or publishing, sorry, not release, before you want to start printing your creative writing, you give it to the editor. So how much weightage does this editor have on your book? What is the importance of it? Can we skip the part and directly get it published? What are the losses if we do that?
No, editing is very important. In my case, my wife is a senior coordinator in school, so she edits my novels, all my novels. But editing is highly important. It is highly important because if there are grammatical mistakes, because when a book is released, I'll come to
Mm-hmm.
that later. When the book is released, your
Uh-huh.
critics read your book first.
Uh-huh.
Whoever in your competition or
Uh-huh.
whoever is a critic who likes to put negative reviews of a book on Amazon, he is the one who reads your book first when it is released.
Okay.
And then he will declare there are hundreds of grammatical mistakes, the spellings are not right, the sentence doesn't frame, and the story breaks in between. So editing is very important. However, manual editing these days hardly people just because editors are very expensive. There are hundreds of
Oh,
AI softwares and everything. So you
so
put your entire
reliable?
story and it
Are these
edits.
are these softwares reliable? Should you rely on them as much as you do on editors?
Madam, when you write a book, you should have a basic knowledge of English at least, basic knowledge of grammar at least. So even if
All-
the AI or the software is giving you a wrong concept, then you should be able to correct it.
Okay. All right.
So
And now,
basic knowledge is
how
very
do
important.
sorry, I'm cutting you here, but then this thought is coming
No
to me
worries.
very immediately that how should you negotiate with the publishing house? And which are the good publishing houses in India where, a beginner can approach? They are not very expensive, but they are reliable. So if you could just name some, and what is the process after the editing is done and you have the rough copy in hand, and now you have to go to the publisher to get the novel printed. So what is the process and which are the good publishing houses? My audiences would be very indebted if you could mention that.
If you are writing your first book, no publisher will be willing to take it. But if
Okay.
but if you are willing to pay them, they will take it.
Okay. Oh.
Second point, second point.
Uh-huh.
No good publisher will take your novel even if you want to pay. So you'll have to always move to a smaller publication. In my
All right.
cases, all my novels is published by BFC publication in Lucknow. But one book,
Okay.
1934, Tremor of Fates, has been published by our mutual friend Tanmay Sharma.
Okay.
So he published it, and when your books are on a success rate, the
Uh-huh.
price of publication is dropped.
The price
So
of publication.
it drops,
Okay.
and so
Okay.
when my books started to hit the stands and started to sell well, now
Uh-huh.
BFC publication doesn't charge me anything
All right. And what is the
because they
estimate?
too.
What is the estimated cost? Like if someone is going in for getting a book published for the first time, what should that person be expecting to pay?
Again, this depends on the publication. How big is the publication house? How many
Okay.
pages you have? What
All
genre you are
right.
writing? Genre you are writing? How many pictorial depictions are there? It all depends on many things, and then they decide, calculate, and give you a lump sum package that they would be doing in those money. They would be marketing for your product. They would be releasing videos. They would be releasing uh, official sites on official sites. So there are too many things, but basically, roundabout it should be 13,000 to 20,000 rupees
All right.
for the publication of the book.
All right. So 20 to 30,000 rupees, dear audience, is what you should be looking at when you are publishing,
30,
getting a
I'm
book
sorry to
published for the
interrupt you.
first time.
No, no,
For
I'm
the first time.
sorry to interrupt you. I'm sorry to interrupt you. 15 to 13 to 20,000. 13 to 20,000.
13 to 20,000, even better.
Because
13,
small publications will accept to publish your book for the
wonderful.
first time.
All right. All right. And after publishing, what is the best way to release your book? Because I keep seeing these days, I have a lot of friends like you who are authors of very good books. So there is a proper scheme that they sit and make with their team to how are they going to launch the book. So, so it keeps on changing. And I want you to also share that how do you scheme about publicizing your book? How do you release it in the market?
The release in the market is done by the publication house. They release it on Amazon, Flipkart, Google Reads, and other sites they are associated with. The best
Okay.
way to publicize your book is to inform everyone, whoever you know, 100,000 or 2,000 people that your book has been released on Amazon.
Okay.
Whoever is interested, this is the synopsis of the book. Whoever is
Yeah.
interested, can you buy it, read it, and then leave your reviews on Amazon. This
And
is the only way.
I keep seeing a lot of writers, scheduling their visits to different, very renowned, like crossword literary houses. They sit there over a cup of coffee and they tell a little narration of the novel. They take an excerpt from the novel and they discuss about it. They sign it and give it. So all these things also happen. So all these also incur expenses, or is it pure collaboration?
Nothing is without expenses unless and until your photo is in the newspaper.
Okay.
There
All
is
right.
nothing without expense. You have to pay for each and every step.
So you're paying for each and
So if
every,
you,
even if
yes,
you're
so if
getting your
you,
published books really kept in the storehouse, prominent storehouses, you have to pay them a certain amount for them to showcase your book and for you to sit there
yes,
and sign some copies.
yes, indeed, even the signing events cost
Okay.
money.
Okay. Okay. And when should you know that, okay, now your book is a hit? Now it is doing well. What is that cutoff?
Madam, there is no general cutoff that your book is because one day your book is at number one on Amazon, the next day you'll find it is 1,25,000 position.
Oh my
So it's
God. Okay.
because yeah, because every day there are lakhs of novels being released on Amazon. So if your novel like my novel, I'll take my example. If my novel is in the paranormal category, so today it is at number one. Tomorrow, 3 books are released, and first 7 days the authors keep it free for everyone. You can download at free of cost. So people start downloading it, and your sellability or download goes up to 500 copies. So when 500 copies, then your position goes down.
Okay. My goodness, this is quite
So this is
a
yes. So you cannot say that you are a hit with the novels unless and until again I would say that your photo is in the newspaper or you get a Booker's Prize.
okay. All right. So let's lighten the air a little and let me ask you a hypothetical question, Mr. Sandeep. So you've traveled well abroad in India, right? You've gone to most exotic places abroad. So tell me, like you have a mind of a writer. So has it ever happened that you've gone to a holiday destination and you got inspired for writing a book? Has it ever happened of all these 7 books that you have written? Any of the backdrop the book has in what the question I'm asking you.
Frankly speaking, no. I have
Okay.
an integrated I have an integrated chip in my mind. I take a
Okay.
subject and write about it. There is nothing
Uh-huh.
like inspiration for me because I'm not a non-fiction writer. Usually,
Yes.
non-fiction writers they take inspirations like they see Mona Lisa
Uh-huh.
portrait, they get to see she's got beautiful eyes, and then they'll write about Mona Lisa. In fiction,
Okay.
you don't have to take any inspiration. I remember one story, Mr. Tanmay Sharma,
Uh-huh.
in the first interview with him when I was joining him. He
Yes.
asked me, uh, "You write paranormal novels. Do you believe in ghosts?" So I said no.
Uh-huh.
So he told me, "You're the first writer who's telling me that you don't believe on ghosts.
This
Usually, paranormal writers
this was
believe
my
in
next
ghosts."
question. This was my next question that, I went and I saw the books that you have written. So most of your books are based on paranormal phenomena or, the dark side of life or the dark story. So how is it that you've written in these two genres?
Okay, so I'll cover in my answer. I'll cover both the questions.
Okay.
So Mr. asked me.
Mhm.
Am I audible to you?
Yes, there's a little hiss in the audio. Now it's better. Audio is better. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. So, Mr. Tanvi Sharma, he asked me, "Do you believe in ghosts?" I said no. So he said, "You are the first paranormal writer." So I gave him an example. We all know about Qutub Minar. If I tell you to write 100 words about Qutub Minar, you can easily write it. But if I
Mhm.
tell you 100 words for Qutub Minar,
Uh-huh.
you won't be excited because Qutub Minar doesn't exist. But if you manage to write about Qutub Minar, then you are a writer. Creativity.
All right. Generally, I have come across a lot of writers who get inspired by situation, by people, and then they start to write a story and then they give it a direction and they give it an end. So that is why I asked you this question, and sometimes they say that, they have got exhausted or they're having a mind block because they can't write, they need some time off. So I was curious to ask you this question.
Uh, so I'll complete this. Dark side, like you said, that all my novels are dark, have a tinge of dark side. I would call it a dark side. I would call it a thriller. You know, yeah, because I love to see my readers sitting on the edge of their chairs and reading my novels with a line of silk line of sweat running down their temples is what I love to see. Adding thrill to your life is what I'm a thriller writer. So thrill will have a darker side.
Okay, so you write purely out of imagination.
Out of my imaginations, I imagine things and I write about it.
So now we are heading towards our rapid fire question. It's going to be a mix of the two topics that we have discussed today. So are you ready?
Yes, ma'am, sure.
So I would request you to mention whether it's a myth or is it a truth, and then you can substantiate it if you feel like with just a simple statement. So my first question to you is: does a writer block actually mean that the writer is incapable of writing?
No, no. It is a temporary phase, and you can get rid of it.
Okay. And
It's a
are
myth.
all successful writers, are they naturally gifted or they have to cultivate this art of writing?
No, skills can be developed. Nothing is God gifted. Yes, there
Okay.
can be no gifted, yeah, but you can develop this skill.
Okay. Do all great literary work come from a place of personal suffering or trauma or some happy anecdote?
Myth, not necessarily.
You just mentioned you write out of your imagination.
Yeah.
And if self-publishing is a sign of failure or less achievement compared to the traditional publishing.
This is again a myth because why the Wool series writer sold million copies self-publishing.
Okay.
So that is again a myth.
All right. So, do you think authors always have an easy path to success?
Ma'am, your voice is cracking.
Okay,
I can't
sorry.
hear the question.
I will ask again. Am I audible now?
Yeah, but there is little disturbance in the voice.
I'll just correct. It's raining quite a bit here. Maybe the network acting
Yeah, the
funny.
network, I think network is.
My question was that, is it true that taking alcohol and smoking requires only willpower?
No, family support is a must.
Some people who overcome addiction always remain free of, uh, of this problem.
No. If you don't have